Welcome back, Commanders, to another video, and today we're revisiting one of the all-time favorite videos, which is going to be regarding officer pairings. Now, the reason I'm doing this has been a very long time since that last release, and there has been quite a few new officers. So we're going to go through and kind of break down what officers I think are going to be best depending on the unit you're using. So we'll start off with infantry, seeing as I've opened it up and infantry is here. And if you are tanking a base with infantry, it is going to be Everbloom and Angel of Light. Now, Angel of Light is down here. Again, I'm currently using a kind of hybrid setup where I'm going to be using Thorn with my Everbloom on my infantry, because not only is Thorn almost as good, she's not quite as good as using those two pairings of Everbloom and Angel of Light, but with Thorn, she also provides a base shield. Now, a base shield on infantry is the highest base shield you can get, so therefore, I'm not only going to be using it for tanking a base, which this combo is still very, very good for, but on top of that, I'm also able to then use it as a base defense as well, and I can give myself one of the best base shields on the game. Now, that was for tanking and defense. If you want to go on the offense, honestly, the Bear is going to be the best officer when it comes to pure offense. You do also have Wings of Wanderlust you could use, which is going to be available if you are, spending a lot of money on the game. But if you're free to play, the best person to put with Bear, kind of Lonesome Star, but not really. Honestly, I would say sacrificing that little bit of damage, I would say use Everbloom still, because Everbloom will still keep your unit alive much longer, which means the Bear will then be able to output more damage in the long run. That's just my personal opinion, guys, but of course, let me know down below if you think that there is a better offensive pairing for the infantry. Also, guys, we have just hit 1,800 subscribers, so if you are able to, I'd appreciate anyone who can hit that subscribe button down below. We are closing in on 2,000 subscribers, and also, while looking back at my previous video on this officer list, it actually got over 150 likes on that video. Is there any chance, guys, you could smash the like button and see if we can match that 150 like goal? So, guys, moving on to the Howies, my favorite personal unit. And we are going to be talking mostly free to play here, but I do want to say, if you are free to play, you still can work towards an officer that is in the exclusive lounge. It just takes a very long time, including myself. I've been working on her now for over a year. I'm so close to getting her. I'm a couple of months away from finishing it. So, with that being said, your very best option when it comes to offensive destroying bases is going to be Lady Liberty with Eye. This is an undisputed champion when it comes to attacking a base and trying to kill it as fast as you can. Moving on to the defense side of things, one of the best defense guys you can get on a howitzer is going to be Argent Flame and Stinger Fist. Of course, you're going to lose a bit of range there, so maybe you want to think about doing Argent with Champion of the People, which is Antonina, or even better, again, if you are someone who is able to go into the exclusive lounge and you want a howitzer perfectly dealt towards destroying units, this is going to be your girl. You're going to want to unlock Red Heat. She is absolutely insane. By far one of the best defensive and just pure carnage on destroying as many units as possible. She is going to be on your howitzers 100%. Absolute amazing when it comes to that. You'd want to probably pair her with Argent Flame, or even just straight up with Lady Liberty. So again, if you're only able to get one officer, I think versatility wise, Lady Liberty will be the better option, due to not only having the ability of the 5 range grids, but also the ability to be able to still do crazy damage on bases and still to do on units. Moving on to ATGs, your best pairing is going to be Argent Flame with, say, Golden Eagle. Argent Flame, even with Stinger Fist, is pretty decent, but Golden Eagle is honestly one of the best when it comes to the ATG. He just does crazy damage. Again, guys, when it comes to the actual exclusive lounge, I actually think that there aren't many officers that are perfectly designed for the ATG. I would say that they're better on a howitzer, but of course you could still end up putting some of the exclusive lounge officers on an ATG. They just might not perform just as well. So guys, in the last video, I actually left out the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher is going to be very, very similar to the other sort of artillery officers. Again, although we have an actual rocket launcher main officer, which is Bear, he's one of the most useless officers in the game. So please stay away from him, okay? Stay away from him. What you're going to want to try and get is obviously, say, Lady Liberty with the extra range, or Antonina with a range, because unfortunately the rocket launcher is only 3 grids, so you really want to try and get at least 4 grids out of the rocket launcher to really maximize on that progress. Depending on what you're attacking, you're going to want to be having Eye of Providence if you want to focus on the attacking of a fortification, i.e. a base or something. And if not, then even having someone like Argent Flame or Stinger Fist will also work on a rocket launcher. But overall, guys, the rocket launcher is more of a defense unit now, because it's just, you know, it's best at taking out infantry. It can still be used on the field, but right now it still really is pretty weak in that field and can lose a lot of units very fast. Moving on to the tanks, guys. Now we're talking about light tanks first, and on light tanks, guys, there is no other. One of the best officers is going to be Rapier. He's perfectly built for it. He does the crazy crit damage, really fast fire rate, and honestly, he is one of the best officers when it comes to the light tank. So guys, if you are a tank main, you're going to want to unlock Steel Phoenix. Steel Phoenix is absolutely insane when it comes to the light tank. You are 100% going to want her on your light tank. When you pair Steel Phoenix with Rapier, them two teaming up is going to be absolutely amazing. By far one of the best setups. We have also got the fact you could also have Rapier with the new officer, Madame Havoc. Now, Madame Havoc is by far one of the best tanking officers out there when it comes to offensive. And honestly, guys, if you have her on your light tank, she's still going to be very good, but I think she will be slightly better on, say, an MB or a helicopter due to their firepower difference. But as I said, she will still work on a light tank if that is your main unit. Moving on to the MB now, again, Madame Havoc is going to be by far probably your best option. And pairing with her, guys, actually Uncle is going to be by far the best pairing. These two together, the fact he keeps her in the fight a really long time and just gives that extra damage, reduces the incoming damage, and then he protects your base. But even out on the field, guys, Uncle with the new Madame Havoc is going to be your #1 go-to. And it's honestly crazy to see how strong these two work as a team. Now, of course, if you don't have Uncle, you could also have another officer that's for like defense, but also offers a little bit of offense, which is going to be someone like Svalin. Or even then Fawn, guys. She's also a very good officer for that situation. But overall, guys, the best pairing will be Madame Havoc with Uncle. Now, moving over to the heli. Again, it's kind of very similar to the MB at this point. Having Madame Havoc on your helicopter with, say, Uncle is still going to be a very good pairing. Valkyrie, although she's designed for a heli, she is a Gen 2 officer, guys. Very slowly but surely, she is going to be becoming, you know, not so important anymore, because all the new officers coming out are much stronger. So if you have Valkyrie on your heli, yes, she will be okay. But at the same time, if you come up against another heli with Madame Havoc on it, or you come up with an MB against Madame Havoc, you're probably going to lose the fight. So I would tend to say, if you don't have her yet, go for Madame Havoc instead. Much stronger officer overall. So guys, I hope that sort of sums up the tanks there for you. They're very similar at the moment. The way the officers are working, having sort of the mixture between the offense and defense really is kind of shared across all three of them. And again, although the exclusive lounge officers are very strong, including this guy here, by the way, I forgot to mention, the Wings of Wanderlust is absolutely amazing when it comes to the light tank, and I presume the MB would be pretty decent as well. But on the light tank, if you have Wings of Wanderlust and, say, Rapier, or if you can afford Wings of Wanderlust and Steel Phoenix both together on a light tank, it is going to be the most strongest light tank in your L4. Absolutely insane. Crazy amount of damage. So guys, moving on to the Super Heavy. The Super Heavy by far is obviously going to be an absolute tank when it comes to tanking bases, and the very best you can get for tanking a base is going to be Uncle with Svalin, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, this pairing is the strongest when it comes to tanking a base and will give you the most out of survivability. But even if you use, say, Uncle with Thorn, it might not last just as long, but you would then also get a very good base shield. I believe it's like the second strongest base shield on the game as opposed to the infantry shield, but you will also still be pretty decent when it comes to tanking a base. And on top of that, you'll also get the base shield for when your super heavy is still in your base. So it's one of those compromises. If you're happy to compromise that little bit less tanking, it all depends on, you know, what sort of setup you want. But if you want that hybrid setup, go for Uncle with Thorn. But if you want that more just pure beefy tankiness, I'd say go with Uncle with Svalin. That's going to be your best option when it comes to tanking a base. So guys, moving over to the air units, when it comes to fighters. Now, fighters, obviously, if you are going to be able to get, you know, Darkwing, he's going to be the guy you want to go for. But at the same time, guys, I'd say focus on ground units first before coming over to the air units. So if you're a free-to-play player, guys, the best offense and defense officer you can get here is going to be Nagarani. She is absolutely insane. Whenever, you know, you see Nagarami on a fighter and she's awoken, you just know 100% she's going to be taking so much damage, but still outputting a lot of damage back to you. So with that being said, guys, this is a must on your fighter, whether you are a defense fighter or an offense fighter. Now, if you're offense, I would honestly say it depends really. If you want to pair her with, say, Bladewing, you're going to be an offense that can still chase people. But if you are, say, like offense, but you don't really care about that chasing and you want just a lot of damage, I would honestly say go with Sky Jockey. She offers, you know, a decent amount of extra damage still with the crit strikes. And overall, I think, as I said, she is still a very decent officer. But the fact she's a Gen 4, I still feel she's pretty weak. But she is still a very good officer. So pairing Nagarami with Sky Jockey will be absolutely amazing if you want to go for offense. But even then, Nagarami with Bladewing, if you still want very good offense and even be able to chase people down and slow them so that they can't escape, this is going to be one of the best and most popular pairings on the game. Moving on to the defense, if you want to have a pure defense fighter, say you have a bomber as your main unit, but you have a secondary unit that's a fighter, and you want to sort of take as much damage as possible, as of right now, it's going to be Nagarami with the Witcher. This will literally keep your fighters almost unkillable. Honestly, they are very, very strong on just pure defense. Like, you're just trying to keep them alive as long as possible. That's going to be your number one go-to. So moving on to the bombers, guys. When it comes to bombers, it doesn't matter whether you're using a Liberty, whether you're using a Vanguard, or whether you're using a Marty. You are going to want to get this officer here, Lone Eagle. He is absolutely amazing when it comes to just dealing crazy amount of damage, giving yourself a nice bit of intercept protection, which is that first initial, you know, when a fighter comes at you and you see a chunk of your health instantly go down a bit, that's the intercept, reducing that by 50%, so you're taking half the amount of intercept damage. Honestly, crazy. And then overall, guys, just the pure amount of damage coefficient if you are on a Marty or a Vanguard, and then just a pure amount of extra damage or pure core damage when it comes to being on a Liberty plane. So with that being said, guys, pairing with him personally for the versatility options, I would honestly say the best option here is going to be Cartero, because not only he does a good amount of damage, he does extra damage, he does some burning damage when awoken, but he also makes it so that they can't move for 2 seconds. So if you want to chase after someone, if you want to bomb someone and then they can't move, and then you get another bombing strike on top of that, it's genuinely going to be a really good combo. If you want a lot of core damage, say on a base, if you're attacking bases, or if you want to attack anything like that, honestly, Inferno with... By the way, guys, I just want to point out, Lone Eagle is your number one. You want him on your bomber, okay? So I have a Lone Eagle and El Cartero. You can have Lone Eagle and Inferno. Again, another very solid option. Has a crazy amount of burn damage. And honestly, it is a very good officer. I'm not going to deny it. I personally don't like the fact it takes 4 seconds to reach that maximum damage, but as I said, it is still a very good officer. I do personally prefer El Cartero to be with Lone Eagle in this situation. And finally, you could also have Rising Star. Rising Star offers still a decent amount of damage. He also offers faster bombing efficiency, so you like your bombing runs, the interval between when you bomb is much quicker, and overall, guys, does offer a decent amount of extra damage coefficient on top of that. So I would honestly say it doesn't really matter, as long as you have Lone Eagle paired with any of these 3 officers, it is going to be a very good bomber, guys. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it, guys, and let me know down below if you think I've missed out on any crazy pairings of officers and you think that I've just completely overseen it. I really want to say thank you so much for all the love and support, and if you haven't done so, make sure you hit the like button, smash that subscribe button as well. Let's see if we can hit 2,000 soon. I love you all, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.